making back home. What is it, 9? Let's say it's 9 a.m.
It's like 11 now.
11? Somewhere between 9 and 11. We're making it back home, and we're hot and drunk. We got KFC and some other things.
It took 3 hours to get home, but we're home.
3 hours. Now we just gotta go through this. And then we're home. We're so close. It's so far. Right up this hill we go. Huh? You can make it. Oh yeah. Keys are useful. All right, well, while we search for our keys to get back in and get some rest, I've got a good friend here who's going to give us some context on carnival culture and the characters and how all this fits in.
So, my name is Quinn Williams. I am from Trinidad and Tobago. However, at the moment, I am based in the United Kingdom. I am a PhD candidate at the School of Performance and Cultural Industries at the University of Leeds. And I'm doing my research on Trinidad's Carnival.
Where does carnival fit in the culture? I understand, there was the French that took over and all the other colonizers, and they were kind of partying, make their own parties and masquerading. But in today, how does that still fit into the culture?
The greatest show on earth, as we call it now, all these marketing techniques are employed to, yes, build self-confidence, but also to unite a country. Sometimes I do think in our quest to sell this thing called Carnival, this tourism product, that we believe that, everybody's just united and happy, and that's there for sure. But it's still very much present is the divide of who can access where, certain, events and, social stratification, racial stratification. That is still pretty evident. And again, I think that's from existing way back when, that Carnival has always been this very messy space. Even in places like Europe, a very literal messy space that it's still there. So it's not all pretty and gems and feathers in one sense.
I kind of noticed that, and I had that idea because Carnival was originally as a rebellion, but then it seems like it's really these days it's more commercial, but you got to bring the money in, and people are coming from all over. But it's who can afford to go with Tribe, and who can afford to go with this band, exactly. Or it's who gets the really nice stuff? And I'm wondering is it a lot of Trinidadians who are investing in this that own all this, or is it Europeans or outsiders? Because I don't really know, but I was kind of wondering that have the masters repurchased it, or is it still more held by Trinidad?
No, it's definitely very much locally in heavy local investment. So in one sense, it might not necessarily be the masters as we see it in terms of Europeans, but some people can still see it as the masters of a post-colonial society and who have become at the top of the social ladder, kind of control many things, based on your social economic positioning, that might invest in terms of sponsorship, big brands, corporate entities. So it depends on the perspective. So it's still very much local in that sense, but within that localism always to the common man and grassroots, Yeah. One thing about Carnival, I think generally anyway, but for sure Trinidad Carnival always reflects the society at the moment, the values, the structures that are there.
Yeah, and even though the carnival seems all fun and happy, that's just it's not reflecting what society actually is like all throughout.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword in that it is still fun and happy. People are still fun and happy and merry, but at the same time, it is still divisive. It could be both things. It's not one or the other. It's actually both. That's what I really believe.
Could you give us some context on the characters and how they fit into everything? What are these characters?
Right. So a number of these characters, and there are many characters, what are now deemed traditional carnival characters that have emerged throughout different periods in eras. Again, some of them came out in that Jamet Carnival period where some more other characters emerged, like Baby Doll, and there's actually Baby Doll performances in New Orleans, which I find is mad interesting. It's slightly different, but they have the same costuming and stuff like that for the Trinidad Baby Doll. And you would have had other characters like Sailor Mask, which really came out from around World War II when there was a heavy occupation of American soldiers in Trinidad, even like British soldiers who would have been here, and seeing how soldiers were, you know, it was like a constant what you saw and what you had. And I think that's what the mass, a lot of these things over the time portrayed, you know, either a bit of mimicking and like what they saw. So like with the Dame Lorraine of seeing like certain elites, but then, you know, exaggerating the breast and the buttocks for movement because of, you're supposed to be elegant, but at the same time, you'll also find these body parts repulsive, you know, so you know, you kind of blend and mixing the two. Of course, job mass and just devil mass on a whole, and these type of performances that's supposed to literally scare people. And again, like, you know, it give you that kind of emotion. Like, not all aspects of Carnival ought and should be pretty, you know, because it, as you said, it was this rebellion, and there was this aspect of it, you know, of covering yourself in molasses and, you know, representing something dark, you know, because it's also like, you know, like, yo, you white man, you actually are dark, you actually are the devil, you know. So there's so many different things of portraying that. Understanding where it has come about, or just trying to find a problem when there really is not that serious of a problem. You know, I think it's still good to understand if you want to, quote unquote, make it authentic. But again, a lot of these, what are now deemed traditional mass characters, again, had these influences from different species, had, you know, with midnight robbers, how, you know, dueling and, you know, pulling out a gun, and where these things come on, that would have seen those influences and making it your own and using your lingo of African oral history to be able to speak and to be able to, you know, command attention when you're speaking. What we now deem as traditional mass characters have been influenced by many different things, whether it was the strata and the colonists there, whether it would have been actually media that you would have been consuming with film, or being in spaces with, as I say, sailors being here, or animal mass that, you know, you're farming and, you know, you're in the countryside and dealing with bats and cows and gorillas. And that's what you portrayed. This is literally what was around you, and you made something creative in that aspect of Carnival as well. We have moved away for sure from an era where playing mass means something else to people now, where it has definitely been more of that, what they call conventional, or even say commercial. Of, yeah, we're enjoying ourselves and we just come into wine and dance and gyrate. But again, you would have had that period where playing a mass really meant, you know, from like a theatrical point of view, of becoming a character, using still performance in the context that you lived in the 1920s, 30s, of we are still in a society that you are trying to control me. So if Carnival is now giving me the liberty through performance to scare the shit out of you, because on a normal day, I probably can't do it without facing some kind of consequence, you know? So without a doubt, I mean, this is not just me because I'm being Trinidadian, but Trinidad's Carnival, or the model that Trinidad's Carnival has become in terms of, you know, the soca music and steel pan music, etc., is the most replicated carnival globally. So there are those Trinidad, as we call it, Trinidad style carnivals, which even much of the Caribbean has replicated. Trinidad, without a doubt, and Trinidadians and Tobagonians have had a major influence in terms of the music, in terms of the, you know, costume design, the creation, steel pans. You know, the country is still seen, that's why, you know, they say they're the Mecca, still seen as the artisans and the people who come from here still contribute immensely to that kind of global industry of it now becoming this industry, so to speak.
I find these little pathways to be pretty, it's kind of pretty. These little water pathways. That one's less pretty, but it's fun. So that's
Because if you wave down a random car, you don't know who's just gonna pick you up.
So if you wave down a random car, you could pick up your phone and say, Uncle Gregory, here, look at the number.
Yeah.
The species something are traveling. You don't want to be talking, you know.
Yeah.
Just telling them, right? See what it is. So are traveling in there, a white car, the number is speed, and let them hear.
Yeah, let them hear that you know.
But you don't want to be talking to me.
Yeah.
That's just your gimmick.
Yeah.
Check your sellers, right? The coke washer sure they take the coke and try to sell it.
Exactly.
When the guys come for their coke and they can't find it, they shoot and they kill some of them. Right?
Yeah.
Some of them who bury it and play the because they come here. That happened recently.
Okay.
So these things do happen. It have some people say, look, I'm not interfering with that. Right? I know that is trouble.
Yeah.
I don't tell the police, look the coke in here. Some do that, some didn't. Some people die. Should they say where we are? Remember, we are closer than to South America.
Yeah.
We're the last, so it's easier for transporting through here.
A bit weird, excuse my French, but everything here is set in French in my Google. But I just want to give you a full perspective of Trinidad compared to South America and the rest of the Caribbean. So here's Port of Spain, the main city, and if we go over here, you've got about 30 miles separating it from Venezuela at this part here. And if you go towards the south, we've got about 20 miles separating Trinidad from Venezuela. And then if we go up a little bit more from the rest of the Caribbean, you can see it kind of forms like a little line that turns into a circle throughout all the other Caribbeans up to Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Cuba, and then Miami.
No giant lion. Oh, I love it. It's just a normal KFC. So what do you call this though that's going on?
Brass.
Brass
Festival,
festival.
Right? All you know the road march is Carnival Monday. Who are you feeling for the road march? Apparently it's a two-way race. You lie. Is one horse in a race? Everybody! Bring up the viewers on TTT. All the way to the viewers on TTT. What?
Focus is serious business, no hocus pocus. Cause when election time come wrong again, block your ears, tell them you don't want to hear the refrain. We on a ship riding through the focus, and though the tide is rough, we gon' make it through, no matter financial status, shame or hue. Focus, focus, you better focus. First time I carry in the school, they say you're too young to soca. Now you want to go back, they say you're too old to calypso. Mommy, I want to learn about the culture, because all I hear is Junior appeared to be so much more. Over the years he began to grow. But like his grandfather Bacchanal and grandmammy sweet Cariso, the family trace of little boy Soca could I never hide it just so. He is the head of the fetting class, the heart of the carnival.